Hello everybody, I am so excited for this, you don't even know. We are going to be reading These Infinite Threats, the second book in the This Woven Kingdom series. I finished This Woven Kingdom about like 5-6 months ago, and my life hasn't been the same since. If you don't know, This Woven Kingdom is kind of like this fantasy series based off of Persian mythology, and it's just as bit as amazing as you would have thought. It completely wrecked me for months on end. It's all I could think about. I associate every Taylor Swift song I hear with these characters. So I'm so excited that the second book is finally out. I literally just received my copy of it, so we're gonna unbox and start reading. Before we get into this video though, I just wanted to say that this video will most likely include spoilers, so take note of that. Time to unbox. I was literally staring at my Gmail all day long, waiting for the email to come in that this arrived. Oh my god, it's so pretty. You guys aren't ready. Okay, I'm gonna show you first because I only saw the back. Oh my god, it's so wow. I might like this one even more than the first. Count the number of times I gasp in this video. It's gonna be quite a lot. I need to take that sticker off, obviously, but it is signed. So her little TM. And like every chapter, it has both. It says the chapter number both in English and in Farsi, and that warms my heart so much. You guys don't understand. This first chapter because Epic Reads had like a little sneak peek into the book a couple weeks ago, and I still feel sick reading Sirus saying that, but then it's my prerogative to know the name of my bride. She can't marry him. She can't marry him. Why, Tahereh? Why do you do this to me? I need me a man who has death-like symptoms once he finds out that I'm betrothed to another man. Let's chat for a second. I'm only on I just finished chapter 2. I'm a slow reader as is, but especially with this book because I have to stop like every 2 minutes to write my thoughts in the margins. But let's chat. A lot has happened already. This book picks up right where the last one left off. Like right. It actually goes a little bit back in time. It gives Kamran's perspective of that part. The first chapter is it's back at the ball when Sirus comes in and ruins everything, realizing that Hazan is betrayed him, and Alize, he thinks Alize betrayed him, and all of that. And the whole time I'm like, King, no, they don't. They didn't. She didn't betray you, okay? She didn't know. She didn't know. But yeah, and he's still all cute, and half of the time he wants to kill her, half of the time he wants her. And then chapter 2, going forward from where we stopped. So it's Alize and Sirus on the dragon slash magic carpet on their way to Toulon. And guys, I feel sick to my stomach because I feel like he is gonna be endgame, because this one, it's just a little too enemies, you know? It's so enemies that you can feel it's gonna end in lovers, and I feel sick to my stomach even thinking that. Team Kamran till I die. Okay. As you can imagine, I did not take this very well. I'm gonna show you some of my annotations. This is when they hold hands, when he grabs her hand because she's like falling or whatever, and there's a juxtaposition of how like her whole body's cold and he has warm hands, so I did not like that. Here he tried to give her his coat, so naturally I got mad, and then she was like, I'm not taking that, so I was like, yeah. And then on this side we basically get to, it's basically like saying that his feelings were hurt, so I don't enjoy that. Had to cross out the fact that he has a striking face, because no. Oh, this had me gagged though, because in the first book Kamran says he's like, you're like the object of all my desires or whatever, and now Sirius is like, is it thrilling to imagine yourself the object? Like the exact opposite, probably. And then this felt straight out of Pride and Prejudice to me, so this is when it like really hit me that as Team Kamran, I am destined for heartbreak. So yeah, in this chapter basically Aliza is like, fuck you, I hate you, I'm not marrying you, and then Sirius is like, fuck you, yes you are, I have so much to lose. And obviously we're like, what does that mean? What does he have to lose? So we're gonna find that out. I don't want Sirius to be endgame, guys. No. I'm so stressed, and I'm only 2 chapters in, and we have a whole nother book after this. Oh my fucking god, guys. I somehow managed to forget like literally one of the most important plot points ever. Okay, so we remember in the first book we found out that the king made a deal with the devil when he first became king. He basically granted him immortality for the life of orphan children. What I fucking forgot, oh my god, I forgot that what happens is the devil comes to every newly crowned sovereign with a deal, and it's like up to them to accept or not. But that means Kamran's about to be crowned king. Oh my god, that means the devil's gonna come to him, and that man is so emotionally fragile. He just lost his grandpa, he just lost the love of his life, his mom disappeared on him, his most trusted minister betrayed him. Oh my god, he's so gonna accept. No, I feel like it's gonna be really bad for me. No, I'm saying it right now, whatever he does, it wasn't him. It wasn't him. Let me give you a little update on what's happened. Basically, Kamran was like beat up right after his fight with Sirius in the ballroom, and then what happened is he's like half dead on the ground, right? He can't move or whatever, and the defense minister comes into the room. He looks at Kamran, and the defense minister like hates him, right? And he declares to the entire room, the prince is dead. When I tell you, I gasped when I read that part, and I was like, oh shit, is he gonna like, I thought we were gonna like get a story where he has to like into hiding or something. I don't know why I thought that. Like, it's literally his castle, it's his empire. Somebody shoots an arrow at him, it like kind of like revives him almost, not like in a magic way, just like I think like the shock of it gets him up, and so everybody sees that he's still alive or whatever. Kamran literally made Omid his new like house minister or whatever you call it, which is so funny to me because Kamran low-key hates this kid too. Like, he's always angry and stuff, and he like doesn't have the patience for him, but he really made him his house minister, this 12-year-old boy. And then yeah, he talks about killing Hazan, his old minister who betrayed him, and I really hope he doesn't go through with it. I loved Hazan, like I don't want him to die. He's like, I can't believe even her name makes me have this sort of reaction. And he goes, he expected he would only ever be rid of these feelings once she was dead. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, because I think he's gonna try and kill her. This book stresses me out so much. I'm very excited to see where this goes. I'm very scared for Kamran's storyline. Like, he's literally on the path to becoming the villain. Aliza just found wants to kill him. The people in this book are ruthless. The way I thought this book was gonna be a love triangle, and it's more like a death triangle. Kamran trying to kill Alize, Alize trying to kill Sirus, Sirus trying to kill Kamran. Like, all the kings, like when they're born, they're like blessed by the diviners. What happens is they get like some sort of like scar somewhere on their body that mark like the magic that they're able to possess. Ever since that night in the ballroom, Kamran's scar has changed. It's like all over his body now. He's like, what does that mean? Because Hazan apparently knows. And Hazan goes, the distortion of the magic, it means your right to the crown is no longer absolute. It means there might live a worthier inheritor of the throne. This book, I swear to God, it's just plot twist after plot twist after plot twist. My bae is gonna be kicked out of his castle. Why? Why does God give his prettiest soldiers the toughest guys? Oh my God, I look crazy because I just went out and apparently the snow took off all my makeup except for my blush. Please ignore that. But anyway, an iced espresso with 2 pumps of sugar-free vanilla, cinnamon powder, and then oat milk. But like, I don't know what I last updated y'all on was, but and then he saw this like prophecy that basically said clay and fire brought together in this woven kingdom, which implies that like Alize has to marry a human. Kamran's like, oh, that's obviously Sirus. But then Hazan is like, what if it's not, you stupid fucking bitch? What if it's you? So now they're on their way to Toulon, and that's how you get the girl. Alize's side, she made a deal with his mom, with Sirus's mom, to kill him. And so she was about to like start like pretending to like him and accept his proposal to like build trust with him so that she could like poison his food or whatever. But he knew right away. He said, you've been making deals with my mom, haven't you? And then they talked a little bit, and he basically said like, marry me, let me get rid of this debt to the devil, and then I will let you kill me and take my kingdom, which is very sus. Like, why would he let her do that? So I don't know, my head's like all I don't know. All I know this morning when I woke, I love this book so much. Don't know. I'm not having the best time with this book. I've got like 5 chapters left, so I'm gonna wait to finish it and then talk about it. But there's one specific thing that's really pissing me off. So here's the thing, I still have like 3 chapters left, so I'm gonna update with like my final thoughts after I finish. But I'm disappointed with this book, and I need to get it out. Why? Okay, so Sirus is just not doing it for me. I tried. I went into this book open-minded, even though I'm so obsessed with Kamran. I went in and I was like, I will give him a chance. But I think I mentioned this before, I'm so tired of the guy that acts all grumpy and like he's better than everyone, like he has this deep dark secret and is actually a big softie inside. I'm sick of it. I can't stand it. And also, all of their chemistry in this book was so forced. I mean, at one point he literally he like went through this thing and he like fell unconscious basically, or intoxicated, and like as she's like getting him up, his hand like falls really high on her thigh, and it's like 2 pages of that being the chemistry and the tension. Forced proximity is no, it doesn't do it for me. I'm so mad right now. The second thing is, I do think would have warmed up to him more if we got his perspective. I would have maybe even, God forbid, liked him, but we didn't. So we only know him through the perspective of Alize and what she's perceiving him as. And yeah, that's again just no, it's not, no. The other thing, like I said, I love Kamran and I love Alize and I love their dynamic together, and this book is literally, they've been apart the entire time, so obviously I don't have that, which is upsetting. So that's another thing that like makes me upset. And then I know this isn't logical, but I feel like less happened in this book than in the first book, even though like logically I know less happened in the first one, but for some reason this one is so like, I feel like nothing happened. And in the first book I was really into Alize's storyline with like being the long lost heir and like seeing how that goes if she like gets back into it, versus in this book I'm so much more into Kamran's storyline with something happens with his birthmark, his like magical birthmark, and there's something going on with that, and he's just, I don't know, his storyline feels so much more interesting in this book. Just the Alize and Sirus chapters were so boring because again they're together like the entire time, and it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth between them with like the same topic over and over again. They're like, I don't trust you, I don't trust you, tell me this, I can't tell you that, blah blah. And I'm like, it pains me to say this, guys, because the first book was so like I lived, breathed, ate that book for a month straight while I was reading it, and then for like 6 months after, like it's all I thought about. So for me to be this upset with this book is so upsetting for me. I don't know. And like I mentioned earlier, there was this point where it seemed like Kamran was gonna go on a journey to the Toulon Empire, and I thought that would be really interesting because I find journey stories and fantasies, like the journey arc, really interesting. It hasn't happened yet, so I'm assuming it might happen in the third book. I don't know. I'm thinking this is like a 4-star. Even that like is a little high, I think, but there were parts of it. Another thing that I was upset about with this book is like in the first book there were so many beautiful descriptions of the empire, of the setting, and like so many like references to Persian culture, especially like with the food around them and stuff, and you don't really get that in this one. I don't know. Oh, another thing before I finish is like, I think I mentioned this earlier too, I'm tired of like the man falls in love, or like the man is nice to the girl after he realizes she cares, because like Sirus is finding out that she was like taking care of him while he was unconscious, and now he's like, oh my god, like why would you do that to me, why are you so kind to me? Meanwhile Kamran literally has a visceral body reaction every time he hears her name. So I don't know, girl, I don't know. Hi, editing Sama here. So I forgot to mention that another reason why I think I didn't enjoy this book as much as the first one is because I am in a very big reading slump right now, and like it made me realize while I was editing I really enjoyed the first part of this book. The second part dragged on though, and it just took me so long to read it because I am in a reading slump, and I think part of my disappointment was with that because I kind of hoped that this book would take me out of that, but it didn't. So yeah, it's not as bad as Grumpy Me made it out to be. So in one of these final chapters we are getting from Sirus a little bit more about his story and his deal with the devil. We still don't know exactly what the deal is, and I want to know so badly, but we're getting a little bit more, and it's like, that's what I want. Now he's becoming an interesting character to me, not the broody whatever the first 300 pages of this was. The one thing I'm really excited for the third book is to see Kamran crowned as king, because so far in the story we know of 2 kings who have not been able to turn down the deal that the devil offered them. I'm just curious as to what the deal Kamran would get and whether he'd take it or turn it down, because I think that would be like a really interesting look into him and his character, and like a comparison to the other kings. Okay, yeah, so I just finished. I'm a little conflicted with the ending because it was like very uplifting, but it wasn't really a cliffhanger per se, because like we know how the story is progressing. Everything I said before this still is true. I'm bouncing back and forth between a 3.5 or a 4-star rating. Addis and Sirus's chapters really annoyed me, and everything I said. The dynamic between Kamran, Hazan, Omid, and Masuda and Dean, like I love that little group that's going on. I love that, and I do really enjoy the story. So I'm excited for the next book. Thank you for coming along with me on this journey. Read it and let me know what you think. And yeah, I guess I'll see you next year with the next reading vlog. Bye.